And what is going on, YouTube? Another day, another open house. So if you already see my videos in the past, you would know that I usually work very closely with the new construction community. So what I thought today is that I would hop on the camera real quick and tell you 3 different tips to look out for when you are going to buy a new construction property. Okay, I had to change angles here because the Texas heat is beating on me right now. Either way, if you're looking to build a house, which could be basically if you buy land, you want to look at my last video to get an idea if that's the route you want to go, then definitely do it. But whether you buy land and build a house or you go to a new construction company, for the most part, a lot of them are going to work very similar. And since I work very closely with a new construction company, I basically live here. This is like my second house. I thought that I would give you guys some advice. And the first thing being is that you want to make sure that you're not getting in what's called an escalation clause. And what an escalation clause means is that you can have a time frame of 6 months that you're going to have your house built. And on that 5th month, because of the way that the market is and how volatile it is, I know that things are kind of starting to settle down, but you just never know. What can happen is the builder can come back around and tell you, well, you signed our escalation clause in the beginning when you were looking to build, and what's going to happen now is that because we are following the market, they're going to increase the price on you. So your house might have been $360,000 when you first got under contract, but now it's going to be $400,000 when you have to close. You weren't pre-qualified for that, first of all. Maybe you didn't have enough big enough down payment for that. So what can happen there is it can put you in a really bad bind, especially if you've already made plans to like move into that property 6 months later, and you're just kind of shifting your life towards that and expecting it. And then all of a sudden on the 5th month they come in and tell you, you know what, we're increasing the price on you. Then it can definitely mess you up. So I would always say to make sure and ask about an escalation clause before you get under contract with them, so that way you are better prepared to make sure that you get to the end of the finish line and you close on your property. And tip number two would be to read the contract. So what's really cool about building, of course, your own home or building with a builder is that you can add some of your touch-ups here and there. So they might let you choose backsplash. Maybe they'll let you choose the flooring between carpet and hardwood or vinyl, whatever the case may be. Is maybe, you know, they'll let you choose the color of your house. Over here, you'll notice that in a new construction community, especially because there's usually HOAs, just a heads up, HOAs in a new community, at least, especially if it's gated, they usually want to keep things in sync. But of course, if they give you the option to paint your house, then so be it. But the thing about the contract is that it might also tell you that for any reason, especially with the way that things are with inflation and pricing with lumber and just materials in general, you want to make sure that they're not going to come back around, you know, let's just say mid construction, or even towards the end when you finally get to go see your property and find out that they told you, hey, you know what, we were unable to get this material, so instead of granite counters or quartz counters, we gave you granite, or we gave you, you know, just something that you were not expecting. And of course, especially if you want to add your touch up, you don't want them to come back around and tell you that what you were expecting. Let's just say you wanted all brick as far as like a fireplace, and you were expecting all brick, but then they were like, we couldn't do that, so we did it all wood. Then, you know, you don't want to be caught by surprise. So that would be tip number 2. And my final tip for you, tip number 3, is going to be to hire a realtor and find a good one. And what I mean by that is maybe a lot of realtors have kind of a bad rep. I wouldn't necessarily know because I haven't had any personal experience with that, but it's just things that I hear from other people. And so I would just say to find a realtor, and the reason being why I say find a realtor is because you are working with the new construction company sales rep, which, you know, nothing against them. There's some great sales reps out there, honestly, and they're all there for the client. But at the end of the day, they represent the builder. And so because of that, it's going to basically mean that there's nothing that they can do. There's nothing that they can argue. And you want to have somebody that's on your side that is not legally, you know, contracted to work for the builder, because here they're legally contracted to work with you. And you definitely want somebody to represent you if they're going to change your flooring on you without letting you know. You definitely want somebody to represent you if they're going to try to increase the price on you and you don't know, because you have somebody who's experienced in the field and who has done it before, most likely, because there are new agents out there. But you have somebody who is there to protect you at the end of the day. And that's what you want to make sure, is that you have somebody that's looking out for you, the buyer. And it's not really that hard to find a good realtor. Of course, just, you know, if you want to interview a couple people, just interview them. I would say that God gave us a reason to, you know, sense somebody's intentions, or just kind of have that feeling. You know, when you meet somebody, you have a really good feeling about them, or you meet somebody, maybe you don't have the best feeling about them. But I would definitely say to hire a realtor, because you want somebody to look out for you. But okay, that's going to wrap up the video. Make sure you hit that like button. Also subscribe and leave a comment down below if you have any additional questions, or maybe there's some content that you want for me to put out there that will answer any of your questions in the future. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.